Hello everyone, Liam here with a new video, and this time I'm kind of trying to do a Halloween kind of themed video where it's all about like horror and all the spooky stuff that goes on in the world. And it got me thinking, because I was talking to my kids about like what would you have as a playlist for Halloween parties and stuff like that, and I had 10 albums that popped up in my head pretty much straight away that fitted what I thought would sound really spooky and horrible, and it would be nowhere near suitable for a kid's Halloween party. So I'm doing it on a YouTube video. So I hope you're all well. I'm on the old Megadeth beer. If you haven't checked that out yet, it's done by Black Sheep Brewery. You can get it in Tesco's if you live here in England or Ireland. I think they have Tesco's over there. Yeah, it's all right actually. It's quite nice. Well, I couldn't give a toss about Megadeth anymore, but I like beer, so hey ho. Right, so yeah, 10 albums. Let's get into it. So first one I picked will be obvious to most people, that if you ever think of a kind of horror themed death metal band with a perfect soundtrack, it would be this, and that is Fulci with Tropical Sun. Now straight off the bat, if you are a horror kind of nerd, which I am not, this is based off Fulci, the director who does loads of different horror films, and specifically this is from Zombie 2, which is one of his films, which I must admit I've watched, and it is pretty cool how realistic that can be, apart from the one swimming in the sea and then he gets attacked by a shark. I think that's a bit random, but it looks really cool. But yeah, I mean, death metal wise, I mean, this does nothing different from any other death metal band at the moment. And these guys have been around not too long, maybe since just before COVID, just after COVID. I can't really remember when they started, but it sounds fucking fantastic considering how, not basic, but how there isn't so much going on. It's very to the point. There's a very specific formula they use with the drums and the riffs. They inject obviously sound bites from this zombie film into the album to kind of give it the horror vibe and the theme of it. But it's so fucking catchy. It's so consistent. And as Italian bands go, these are one of my favourites now. If you kind of see that name, you know what you're going to get. It's going to be pretty decent. I mean, I don't think they've topped this album, mind, with their other later releases, but they're just a solid fucking band. And their live album in Morrissey Studios, when they went over to Florida to record live songs, pretty much played loads of this, and it sounds even better. So go check that out if you haven't. But yeah, first pick for the list is Fulci's Tropical Sun. You may have noticed as well, I've fucked around with the lights trying to make it look a bit spooky in here, which it probably has not done, but what do you think? So next one is a concept EP, but this EP is 27 minutes long and is one song, and that is My Dying Bride's Barghest a Whitby, which is a concept about this lovely little beast here roaming the moors of Whitby. I think that's the certain church or whatever it is that's there. Now Whitby in Yorkshire, I believe, is also known for Dracula roaming around there at some point, and other various spooky things. I mean, I think I've only been there twice in my life. I can't really remember, but they were family holidays, so nothing to do with stuff like this. But musically, this EP, I mean, it's stood the test of time for me. I revisit this now and again because it's a hard listen just to dive into randomly. It's a 27-minute one-track song, so you kind of have to be prepared to sit through and listen to this whole thing in its entirety and get as much out of it as you can without stopping, because if you stop, you kind of lose where you are in the song really quickly. So it's very death metal in parts, then it will go into very gothic, My Dying Bride, and then it'll kind of bounce between the two. The guitar tone on it sounds like a chainsaw. It's got real grit to it, which they don't normally do in their albums, so that makes it stand out a lot. And it's just good fun. I mean, on this one it's got two sides to it, so you've got one side being 15 minutes, you flip it over for the rest. But it's just a really cool thing. Really enjoyed this when it came out. Fuck knows how many years ago now. 2011, that's a while ago, isn't it? So yeah, I remember when it came out, and it just blew my mind how different it was to what they'd done previously to this. So if you haven't checked it out, obviously I'll leave links below for this whole playlist so you can jam it if you wish. But yeah, My Dying Bride, got to put a bit of that in the Halloween playlist. Now this one's a no-brainer as well. This guy is purely Halloween. I mean, even he has a fucking song called Halloween, but I picked this specific album because it's my favourite from them, and that is King Diamond with Them. This is the first thing I ever heard by King Diamond when I just finished college. and it blew my mind because musically it's brilliant, but his vocals is a hard listen if you've never heard that style before. But in a weird way, I liked it, and I also was brought up on the Bee Gees, so I kind of get where that comes from, that high-pitched weird sound. But after a while, you kind of forget about that, and then you just enjoy it for what it is. It's a concept band about horror, told really well, and the music is fucking brilliant. And Andy LaRocque, phenomenal guitar player, and it really adds to the depth of this. And if you see these guys live, which I've yet to do, I've had tickets and fucking missed the gig, visually amazing, really grabs the attention of the audience, and all the songs are catchy, singable, the harmonies are hummable. It's just perfect to me. It's a perfect album, and pretty much most of King Diamond albums I think are brilliant. So without Halloween, you know, would you have King Diamond? Maybe not, I don't know. It's a weird thing to think about, but he is purely Halloween, isn't he? So yeah, King Diamond with them, love that album. And then I thought I have to go back to the kind of zombies. You can only go back to Supernatural at some point, but most people associate horror, zombie films, the undead. So I thought I'd better chuck in some Coffins with their album Buried Death. Now this is not really atmospheric or anything like that. Some of their earlier stuff is, it's purely doomy death metal. This is a bit more death and roll, a bit more groove to it, a bit more upbeat, but it's still about zombies, the dead people, you name it. So you've got to have a bit of Coffins in a Halloween playlist, in my opinion. I mean, if you read the song titles there, you're going to get a vibe for what it's about, you know, just no nonsense, but groovy, it's fun. I think that's Mark Riddick artwork as well. I could be wrong though. I know I am wrong, it's Chris Mofin. Looks like Mark Riddick though, isn't it? But yeah, fucking love a bit of Coffins. Superb band. So yeah, bit of that. And then this one is more in the supernatural, spooky kind of vibe. But I mean, every time I hear it, it kind of freaks me out a little bit with the kind of chanting kind of vocals. So this is some black metal from Finland. I'm going to try and pronounce the band name. I never get it right. I want to say Havukruunu, but I could be wrong. I've never known how to spell it, and I can certainly not read the name of this EP, but it'll all be down there for you guys to read it. So this, like I said, is some Finnish black metal, and this is very melodic in parts. It has a lot of drive in there. It's just very aggressive, and then the vocals have got kind of like weird chantings with the shrieks to kind of give it a kind of supernatural, spooky, kind of haunted vibe. And then obviously the album cover looks like a giant ghost pissing about in the woods during a full moon, and then I think there's a lake there as well. So in my head, visually, I remembered this EP and think, oh, that'd be pretty cool to put in the playlist. And yeah, listened to it a few times before I did this video, and I reminded myself that yeah, this certainly feels like a Halloween kind of vibe for a kind of spooky playlist. I'm trying to get that ring light not to appear on shiny covers, but it isn't working, is it? But yeah, anyway, wicked EP if you haven't checked that one out. Good fun. Now this band again is black metal, but this one proper fucked me up when I heard this band. I remember listening to this thinking, this is really intense, really freaks you out and kind of puts you on edge, especially if you're wearing headphones and you listen to this. And any of their music really is just really intense. And this is a US band called Akhlys with Melinoe, something like that. Now this is the first album I ever heard of these guys, and it scared the shit out of me when I listened to it at night time with headphones, because I fall asleep to music sometimes. And not as much as I used to, but yeah. But back then, I visually remember hearing it, and it was like, wow, that's a bit much. And then over time, I got into it more and more, and I just sat in here and listened to it, and they're a really cool band. But what also sets them apart, you probably might not see it in this video, all these lights, but they wear these really weird masks and costumes, and it's all very dark and evil sounding, and this is pure nightmare fuel. Like, if you want something that'll scare you, especially if you're a newbie to black metal, this is not the band to go to. But if you can get into this, well worth you do, you'll be really rewarded, because there's a lot of music in here that kind of stays with you and captures your imagination. And a lot of bands don't do that anymore, but this one really did for me. It really played on my fear when I'm in the dark and I'm listening to something like this, how fucking terrifying this can be. So yeah, Akhlys, that's a really cool album. And then I thought of this one because it's such a gross cover and it's brilliant. Some Italian doom death, or death doom, depends how you want to look at it. It's very mid-paced, and this is Ferum, which is female fronted, with the band with the album Asunder, Erode. So this has Paolo Griardi artwork. This is an oil painting that he would have done for them. I'm not sure if he does it by description of what they want, or he just paints something and then they buy the art. I don't know how it works for his artwork, but his cover's fucked up in it. I mean, how cool is that? You want something for Halloween, that is it. And that's one of my favourites of his. It's just so detailed and weird. Kind of reminds me of Pungent Stench with that kind of been caught buttering artwork a little bit, with the kind of one-on-one, like twins. But you got the two feet. Well, they're not really fetuses either. They're very much developed in there. It's really fucking cool, really detailed. So yeah, this is Doom Death. It's kind of, the vocal style reminds me a little bit of Death, the band Death. She's got a very Chuck style death metal voice where it's kind of barked with a bite to it. And riff wise is very, not overcomplicated, it's very chuggy, but the harmonies and the eeriness kind of add to it and build on it, and it's got that kind of grit to it. So it kind of sounds like a very slowed down version of Death. It's probably the best description I can give you for you to check them out. Obviously you form your own opinion on this band, but I think they're fucking cool. But this artwork for me is always going to be the best thing about this album. It's the first thing I think about, but it's a brilliant album as well. So Ferum. Now I have 3 albums by this band, and the dude is a UK guy, one-man black metal project. Doesn't do corpse paint or anything like that, and you'd be hard to find any information about him. I think he's like a skateboarder or something like that. I swear his name was Ryan, but this is a band called Despondent Moon, with the album Enshrouded in Eternal Moonlight. I've got 3 of his releases. I think there's a 4th one on cassette. But this is gorgeous black metal, but in a horrible, haunting way. So if you want a Halloween theme track, this is a brilliant band to check out. I mean, that's just why I put it in the list, because it's got loads of aggression, but it's laid in like haunting reverbs, and the harmonies and the atmosphere it builds sounds like a kind of like a ghost story in a roundabout way. Very chilling, very evil, very sinister, but also atmospheric black metal. So yeah, it fits the list perfectly, especially this time of year when it's getting dark early, and you know, your Halloweens and stuff like that. These kind of bands really stick out for me in my collection. I want to put these kind of bands on because it captures my imagination when I'm sitting in here, when I want to listen to music and only music. You know, these are the perfect bands for it. So Despondent Moon, well worth a listen. And then this one I haven't fucking listened to in years, and I bought this when it came out back in 2020, when I had a kind of like a splurge of buying albums because of lockdown, and I swear this was one of them. And I think I listened to it about 3 or 4 times and have shelved it since then. So I remember it being quite spooky and chilling, and yeah, this fits perfectly. So this is Goden with Beyond Darkness. Let's see, like I said, it came out in 2020 on Svart Records, and this is a project that was formed from former members of the band Winter, if you know that Death Doom band from the early 90s. I think it's the keyboardist and maybe another member from Winter in this. So this is very similar to what Winter was, with that kind of caveman-esque doom death, very to the point, very chuggy. But with this one, it's got lots of layers of keys in it, and like a kind of spoken word, kind of haunted man voice that kind of gives it that horror film vibe, which made me think of this album straight away when I thought about this list. It's very sinister, it's very second gear in its speed, doesn't really pick up pace, it's very chuggy. It's about an hour long as well, so it's a good chunk of listen, but it fits the kind of horror theme really, really well. I still don't know what the hell that is in the middle. It reminds me of something from Ghostbusters, but you know, with the pink goo bit. But this is yeah, I mean, it's a solid album, and I haven't listened to it in absolutely ages, and I put it on yesterday when I thought about it, and it's just, yeah, reminded me straight away how fucking cool this band is. So yeah, Goden, go check it out. It's a fucking heavy album. And finally, for this list. Some more Japanese death doom from the opposite side of what Coffins was. This is Anatomia with their, I think this is still their latest album, Corporeal Torment, which came out not too long ago. I want to say 3 or 4 years ago. Now, Anatomia, like Coffins, have done so many different releases over the years. There's the artwork there, her riding a dead corpse with some wheel thing there as well on his face. Very cool. And even inside it goes like that, just to be different. But this album, I mean, it's only 4 tracks, yeah, is brutally heavy, but in a kind of like, this always reminded me of the film Saw, when you wake up in like a rusty old room chained to the walls, you don't know where you are, and then this is playing in the background while they torture you. It's that kind of vibe to it, and the artwork kind of fits with the theme of it, Corporal Torment. It's slow, sinister, eerie, dark, and perfect for this kind of month of horror, as it were, and just checking out some darker bands and evil sounding music. So probably their slowest release, I think. I mean, some of their stuff can go, you know, really fast and then slow, and it's very much a mix of doom and death. But this one is very much a mid-paced, brutally heavy, but really eerie sounding album. So yeah, Anatomia, fucking cool band. So yeah, that's it from me. That's a 10 album playlist. You know, you can feel free to steal this video if you want to, if you're a fellow YouTuber. You know, I always find things like this kind of fun to do sometimes. I always forget to do it and it's too late, but Halloween is pretty much coming up this week, so I thought I'll get in there now. But also, before I finish this video, I want to shout out a few YouTube channels that I've probably discovered the last couple of months. You know, I don't watch too many YouTubers these days, because by the time I get on there I've probably missed tons of videos, and I kind of have people pop up that I know personally now, and it might be linked to my social media. That's why they get preference on the YouTube feed. I don't really know how it works, but lots of channels I miss these days, and it's not because I can't be asked to watch them or anything, it's just purely time. But these 3 I found randomly just when I was on YouTube doing whatever I was doing at the time, and I thought, oh cool, they're cool channels, and they're doing what I do, which is just talk about cool music that they're passionate about, and kind of socialise on here, because in the real world I only know a handful of people that like this kind of music. I know loads more now since doing this and getting my face out there and talking a bit more. So hopefully these guys do the same sort of thing, progress, get better and better, because it's really not that hard to kind of do a YouTube video and just kind of talk to people. A lot of people struggle with that part of kind of communicating to start with, because either they're too shy or they don't want to. It's up to you guys. But if you do the talking part and get involved, you get a lot more out of it, and then it'll grow quicker. That's my personal opinion anyway. I don't understand some people that just do a video and then not talk to anyone and think they should have like a fucking million views. Don't work that way, mate. But anyway, I'm rambling on. So first channel was called Metal Overkill. I'll leave a link here and down there in the description. Watched his videos. I really enjoyed just an honest, old school metalhead opinions, and I like them more because I know what I like, and newer bands, especially the ones for the younger generation, scare the hell out of me. They're just not my kind of thing. Like Parkway Drive, why is that a massive band? No idea. Sleep Token, another one, don't get it. So I like the old school guys that kind of introduce me to bands that I've never heard of from back in the day, or even on the underground scene, because you can't follow everything. So yeah, that's the first channel. Really cool dude. And then this guy as well, he was talking about loads of cool stuff. So God of Grind 1979, really cool channel as well, really down to earth, just talking about really cool music, and he's passionate about it as well, and that's what I like, not phoning it in and trying to get likes and pretending to like some bands, because they do exist, those people that do that pretend to like certain bands just to fit in. But this guy is just talking about the music he loves, and I fucking see it, and it's genuine. So go subscribe to him. And then the final one is a UK guy that I watched the other week, and I even told him that he reminds me of Alan Partridge, just how he talks. And if you don't know what Alan Partridge is, pause this video, watch some YouTube clips of Alan Partridge, you'll get what I mean. But he's a cool dude as well. He's done fucking tons of videos, because he hasn't been around that long considering. So it's called Grind Slime TV. Yeah, I'll put it up there and down there. Go support him as well, because I think he does a video every single day, which is fucking nuts. Like, good luck trying to keep that up, because I could never do that. You know, fuck that. But anyway, yeah, go support all these people. get involved in the scene. And if you haven't ever done this and you want to get involved, this is the war cry. Get involved. You know, I don't do it that often anymore for time reasons and lack of, you know, energy in an evening, having a young family and all that. But get involved. You know, it's really cool. And if you like get properly into it, you can meet some really cool people and then make new friends, and opens up loads of different doors, which it has done for me. So anyway, I'll stop waffling on. Please take care. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, but you don't have to, obviously, but I would appreciate it if you do. And in the meantime, I will look forward to talking to you guys in the comment section. From me and Dave, it's cheers.